I haven't seen that Facebook video, and the way I hear the DA talk about it, probably a very compelling piece of evidence. But what do you think justice is in a situation like this?
I think justice is what happened that night in that moment. I think we aren't talking about what happened that night in that moment, and that's really the problem. We're instead talking about the fact that she's young, that she was pimped out, but the real fact is that she's a rape victim, and he was attempting to rape her that night, and she shot him in self-defense. And I don't know why they're spending a second prosecuting this rape victim who killed the person who'd been abusing her for over a year. And any other information about who she is or what she did on Facebook, to me, is noise. This is a woman that killed the person that had been raping her for a year.
All right, let me ask you, Salman, because we talked about this issue when we were talking about the George Floyd case, and the judge made the decision today that George Floyd's prior interactions with the law not coming in. The victim in this case has some prior interactions with the law involving young, underage women. Same ruling, that doesn't come in, irrelevant?
Doesn't come in, but let me start with saying this first. This case is a perfect example of what needs to change with the justice system in general. You have a girl here who's a victim, and now she's being put on trial for taking matters into her own hands because she snapped. You have to think this is a girl who's mentally not fully developed yet. This is someone that would benefit so much more from mental rehabilitation, from psychological evaluations to get herself back on her feet and get herself taken care of. For a teenager that has never killed someone before, have to take matters into their own hands and get this far, prosecuting her is not going to give her what she needs. Even if she goes to jail, she's spending time in jail, she doesn't look scared. She's just there. So why prosecute this girl? This girl needs the actual psychological help to get back to a normal place. I mean, she has been abused and battered for years, and now you're prosecuting her. So bringing in her prior acts of when she was on the street and what she used to do, that's not going to benefit anybody here. It's completely irrelevant to this case. This girl was a victim, and I think by the prosecution trying to taint her more is just going to hurt their case. There's no reason to do that.
Andrew Warren, and again, we don't know all the facts in this case, but walk us through the process that a prosecutor is going to go through in complicated situations like this and try to determine, all right, what happened, and is this self-defense or is this murder? How do I decide which way to go here?
They're going to have to set it up as this was a woman who was not in fear or being threatened or being raped at the time she actually made the decision and killed the victim here. And I'm using the term victim lightly because the defendant, this young woman, is obviously a victim as well. But if you're the prosecutor, I mean, you have to present this case as, yes, she was abused. Yes, she was raped. Yes, she was pimped out. But at the moment she made the decision to do this, she wasn't under any threat. There is some evidence, I guess, that they were hanging out at the house and had been eating and drinking together. And then she was texting with people about how she was going to kill him. If she was, you can't let it be a situation where she is pushing back against a man who in the moment is trying to abuse her. But again, it's going to be really difficult because of the pattern of ongoing abuse and rape here. People are going to view this as a domestic violence survivor or a child who's being abused by her stepfather. I mean, are you really going to be able to convince a jury that just because it wasn't happening in the moment, she wasn't in fear for her life or her body? I don't know if you can do that. And I'm not even sure that's the right call to go forward based on the facts that we know. But if I'm prosecuting the case, that's the way I have to go about it.
All right, we're going to continue to track